Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Sinister TCG here, coming to you guys with a deck profile on Aquaactress. Aquaactress is the funnest deck I've ever played so far in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's a great introduction deck to Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially if you're a beginner. Alright, let's get started. I'm gonna get started with the level 6s of the deck. So the first level 6 I would play is Mobius the Frost Monarch. Why? Because he's like the MST of the deck, especially if you have no MSTs, especially if you haven't drawn any. And you have him, you contribute and pop 2 back, or that's really pesky and that's bugging you a lot. Now we're gonna get into the Aquaactress monsters that are level 6. You play 3 copies of Aquaactress Arowana. Basically what she does is she searches out all the other Aquaactress monsters to your hand, which is really cool because it's a once per turn effect, but if you have 2 Arowanas on the field, you can activate both of them and get 2 monsters to your hand. All Aquaactress monsters have that effect, that ability. Then you play 3 copies of Aquaactress Tetra. She searches out all the spell cards of the deck, which is really good. This basically powers up the deck. And then you play 3 copies of Aquaactress Guppy. Aquaactress Guppy, what she does is if you have her on the field, you could special summon 1 Aquaactress monster from your hand. This is really good because like that you wouldn't have to normal summon, especially if you have a Arowana, which is a tribute. You could basically special summon her and activate her effect. And then we move on to level 2s. You play 3 copies of Swap Frog. Now, the Swap Frog engine is really, really good, especially because you could throw a water monster in the graveyard. Essentially, you throw a Tetra or a Guppy, and you could activate Surface and get it back. Now, it's really good because you could also use this other effect to get a water monster back to your hand. So if you special summon this, you get a Tetra back on the field, and then normal summon Tetra and activate the effect all over again. And then, for the best card of the deck, we played 3 copies of Testudo or Rot Newman. He is basically the Vanity's Emptiness of this deck. It's like the best card in this deck. They can't really do much as soon as you drop and open this card. It's really good. And then you play, for the final monster count, we play double Mother Grizzly. Mother Grizzly is really good. You put this in defense position or attack mode, you attack it. And you get to get one of these guys out, level 1s, essentially, or level 3 or lower, I believe. And now we move on to the spell cards. So for the ones, we play 1 copy of Pot. I have a love and hate relationship with this card just because you can't special summon. I really do hate it sometimes, but it does come in handy. It can make your hand really good or really bad. It depends on the situation. 1 Dark Hole. I don't have a Regeki right now, but a Regeki would be preferably better in this deck, but Dark Hole does the job too. Clears the board. 1 Surface. Surface is really good. This gets Testudo, Tetra, Guppy, any of those guys back on the field, which is really key. Turns the game around. 1 for 1. It helps get Testudo and Guppy out on the field, especially by discarding like a dead card from your hand, especially a monster like Arowana. And then we go on to the Aquarium cards. You play 3 copies of Aquarium Stage. Basically what this card does, it protects all your water monsters. This applies to all your water monsters. Aquaactress monsters are unaffected by any monster effects, which is really, really good. It's one of the best spell cards of the deck. They cannot be destroyed by battle, none of your water monsters. Then we play 3 copies of Set. What this card does, it gives all your water monsters 300 attack, and it gives your Aquaactress monsters an additional 300. So they basically gain 600, your Aquaactress monsters, with this card. And then you play 2 Aquarium Lighting. The reason why I only run 2 of these cards is because this only applies to your Aquaactress monsters during the battle. They basically double their attack of what they currently have, which is really good as well. So if Tetra was at, let's say, 15, she would be like at 3,000 attack when you battle something, which is really, really, really good. Also, all the effects that every of these spell cards have is when they get destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon 1 Aqua type monster. Every monster that was in our deck profile is an Aqua type, so you would be able to revive any of those monsters with them being sent to the graveyard. And then we also have Double Parallel Twist. Double Parallel Twist is to basically do the combos with this. You destroy that, and you destroy 1 monster on the field, and you get to special summon 1 and clearing something that they had that's pretty annoying, which is really good. This takes out a monster or any back row you want. Targets 1 card. Then we have 2 Wetlands. 2 Wetlands is really good, man. It gives all your level 2 or lowers 1200 attack, I believe. That's really, really good, especially considering that Testudo around Newman is 0 attack. He's actually 12. That's nice. you won't take direct damage instead. Then we play double Moon Mirror Shield because you equip this to a monster and it basically runs over anything you want to. What? How better could that be? That's like the best card in here. And then we move on to the last 5 traps. The last 5 traps, I run triple, lose 1 turn. This card is really good and negates the effects of any monster that your opponent special summons or you special summon. So you have to be careful on how you play this card. You're going to have to play around it yourself. But this is really good. It gets you out of some really pesky ass monsters that are really annoying especially. And it lets you stall for a turn as well. But this is a really good card. I really like it. I really like how it runs in this deck. And finally, for the last 2 traps, we're going to run Grand Horn of Heaven. Grand Horn of Heaven is a really good card because it destroys the monster and negates it, the summon, and it also forces them into battle phase, which is really, really good. Basically, that's the only monster they special summon. They're not going to have anything, so they're going to be an empty field, which are ready for direct attacks next turn. Alright, now we move on to the extra deck. The extra deck, we have one number 39 because it's a level 1. One baby Dragoon, also the other level 1. One Armored Kappa. One Gachi Gachi. One Sky Cavalry. One Cat Shark. One number 25 Force Focus. One Gauntlet Launcher. One Photon Strike. One number 39. And one number 12. These cards all run well in this deck. You won't really have to use these because the deck does well on its own, but it's always good to have extra deck, especially against some decks. But these cards all run really well in this deck. You'll be able to make any of these cards here. Now I'll get started with the side deck. So for the side, we have one Wetlands. It's always good to side one. One Wetlands is pretty good. One Pot. One Black Horn of Heaven. Negates some summons. And then we run 2 Level Limit Area B. I would only put this card in if you really want to stall a deck out. This is really good, especially because you're going to have Testudo, Aquaactress, Tetra, Guppy, and Attack Mode. This only affects monsters that are level 4 and higher. Double Cyclone, 2 Double Cyclone, I like it too. It's pretty much like Parallel Twist, but it only hits the back row. I only like this card because it's a quick play card. You can activate this in your opponent's turn, which is pretty clutch. 2 Upstart Goblins. I really don't like it's draw power, but I really don't like the fact that it gives your opponent 1,000 life points. You know, you're pretty much setting yourself back in a way. But this is pretty good still. It's pretty good. 2 Aquarium Stereo Urashima. I like this card because it's like a breakthrough skill in the Forbidden Last, but sometimes you're not always going to have an Aquaactress monster in the graveyard, and this is kind of dead for a first draw as well. But it's a really good card, and it's a really great side. Double Royal Decree because I don't like it, one, because you have too many continuous spells, and it floods your back row and you won't be able to put anything down. But it does help against some decks that are back row heavy, especially trap-wise. A Mirror Force could hurt this deck really, really bad, or Bottomless, or anything like that. And having this is really good at times, but not always is the case. Double Trap Stun. Like I said, Road to Royal Decree, this is really good as well, but sometimes there are some decks who really play multiple copies of those annoying staples that everybody has. And this is really good to play with, though. It's a really good counter as well. And that's it for the side deck. Alright, you guys, this is the ending of our deck profile. Please follow us on Twitter at SinisterTCG, and please go on our website sinistertcg.com. We have great cards for sale at great prices. We're here to help out the Yu-Gi-Oh community. All right, this is Sinister TCG signing off.